We looked at how to split text frames into multiple columns in an earlier chapter. You simply select the text frame, go to the Object menu, choose Text Frame Options, and type the number of columns you want. I'll split this into 2 and hit Enter. This text frame is 2 columns now, but this heading should not be 2 columns. We want that to span across both columns. We could cut those paragraphs out and put them into a different text frame, one that's only a single column wide, but there's a much easier way to do it. I'll switch to the Type tool by double-clicking inside this text, and then I'll select the 2 paragraphs that I want to affect. Remember, you don't have to select the entire paragraphs, just select a little bit of the first, a little bit of the second, something like that. Then I'll go up to my Control panel, and I'm going to look at this pop-up menu here, the Span Columns pop-up menu. Right now it's set to None, but you see you've got various options in here, including Span All, Span 2, 3, 4. That's talking about columns. How many columns should this text span? In this case, I only have 2 columns, so it doesn't really matter which I choose. I'll choose Span All, and you can see that now these 2 paragraphs span both columns in this text frame. This looks great. I want to explain a little bit about what's going on under the hood here. When you choose any of the span features, InDesign breaks your page, or your text frame technically, into zones. We have a Span All zone here, and then underneath that Span All is the rest of the text. If I click down here and add another paragraph, I'll just call this My New Heading, and then I'll span that, you'll see that I now get another zone. I have the top zone, I have this little zone in between the spans, and then another spanning zone, and then finally the rest of the text. If you keep that idea of zones in mind, you'll really be able to manage your spans better. In this case, of course, I don't want that paragraph, so I'm going to select it and delete it. Back in CS4 and earlier, you had to go through all kinds of crazy workarounds to span text across columns. Now it's just a pop-up menu away.